and I'm not gonna do an all-nighter. I've been up since 4. Oh. I am not a morning person, that's for sure. Oh. I got this piece boned yesterday evening, just before I went to bed. This is the front piece, and I did do a bit extra here so that I can fold this under, and when I am to make the eyelids, I will have a bit more fabric to make this one a bit more strong. Now, I will need to sort of have horizontal boning on this one, and because I'm using round reed, I can't really do channels here and then put that in because it will be absolutely too thick. So what I'm thinking is I will make a separate piece to fill out this area at the top here of this piece, and then sew it on so that the front piece will have a slight curve to it to sort of give that correct shape. So I have this is just my fabric mock-up. It's just 2 pieces of fabric, some cotton canvas and some cotton. I actually think this is quilter's cotton, but it's quite nice. So I'm thinking about just taking half of this and just the top part of it for each side, and then simply do horizontal boning channels here. But I'm thinking maybe I should have a slight curve to this. I know that, you know, if I don't iron the reed, it will have a natural curve because it's in a roll. So that would naturally, of course, give that sort of curved shape to it. Now I'm thinking about actually just using this one because, well, first of all, there's just some channels here. I'm not really going to use them. It was just, I was trying to find out how can I do this, and I started out just hand stitching, and then I went home and got access to my sewing machine. So I did some channel sewing on my machine, and I just, you know, you can see I used black ink. I've just tried here to sort of see if they would, if that would be the correct width of it. Had I used flat reed, it would of course have been much nicer. Of course, I've had to make the boning channels a bit wider than I actually wanted to, but, well, you can see here I've had to sort of cut my seam line here. I've had to cut the sewing stitches here apart to actually be able to put this boning in because it was too narrow right here. But I made it, so I'm just going to be hand sewing this one. I don't think it's actually going to break further because it's not that much. And I mean, out here, you could just see it there and there. Maybe you can't, maybe you can't. And I have not cut the thread on this side, but I will just give it a few stitches, even though that's actually quite hard to make nice when you have the machine stitches. You see, I've used quite small stitch length, but I'm gonna try and do this, make a separate part here with horizontal bones, and then just maybe it will work, maybe it won't. I'll just, you know. It is almost 7 o'clock, February the 2nd, 2021. I've been awake since 4 o'clock this morning. And I just started sewing. Okay, not all the time since 4 o'clock. But one thing I have learned from this process is that planning is everything. It's everything. And then when making a garment that is quite unknown to you, quite unfamiliar, and you have no idea what you're doing, despite all the lovely, very, very wonderful YouTube videos, and well, you buy a pattern and spend time between Christmas and New Year just doing your best at making something and realizing that it's way too small. Then having to cut different pattern pieces and trying to see if that can work, and then deciding in the beginning of January that you're going to make a mock-up out of cardboard, and it turns out to be the most wonderful feeling of a hug. Literally a hug. I wish I had done that cardboard mock-up earlier. Well, definitely in the spring in 2020, because that is something my body is missing. It's a hug, just a hug. Oh well, but right now I just really want to get this done with. And to be honest, I'm fed up hand sewing this binding on to my stays. And I can't do it by machine because I used round reed. Yes, round reed. I wish I had just gone with cable ties. That would have been much, much better. Well, I'll just do it best I can. And by deadline tomorrow, it is what it is. This is the first time for everything. But it's definitely been a huge learning process. I have learned so much, especially not using round reed for boning. And hand sewing is quite slow. Oh, this is just, it's like it's taking forever ever. Eventually. Well, I have a bit more than 24 hours left. Oh yes, surely. What would that be? 35 hours? Well, I have to sleep and eat and all that, but... Well... I'm gonna do my best, and I'm not gonna do an all-nighter. I've been up since 4. Oh. I am not a morning person, that's for sure. Oh. Well, I just really want to be a part of this. So I'm gonna do this, and maybe I have done more than what would be expected by someone at, well, taking the first small steps into making historical inspired garments. Well, I'm gonna keep stitching. But I think now I would like some breakfast. So I think that's what I'm gonna do now. Yeah. We'll see how this goes. I did this eyelet hole the other evening here. Sorry about the shaky camera. And I put some ribbon in. And I did this eyelet hole. Sorry the state of my fingers. It's quite cold in that moment. So now this morning I just wanted to start off. I think I did these two yesterday evening. So I started doing this one this morning, and this one, and this one. Now, these first 5 eyelets here, I'm just going to turn the camera, sorry. These first 5, I went up through the hole into the fabric and down under, and they just kept shrinking back into absolutely nothing, and I was really annoyed. Then I tried to change it. So that's actually what I think I did up about the shoulder strap, and I went through the fabric and into the hole, and there's quite a significant difference here, which is remarkable. But well, I haven't done that many eyelet holes, so I'm just trying this out. This is what it looks like when you really are trying to learn this, making correct eyelet holes. It looks horrible. Some of the places I've only used like 2 threads, and some places I've used 4 threads, I think. This one down here is definitely more full than these, and I've been through these holes with my owls several times, also after I've sewn them. But yeah, well, still a bit to go on this side, and then the entire other side needs to get done. But I think I'm gonna try go with this. I go make the hole. You see, I marked it, and then go through the fabric. Now I am thinking that because on the inside, you know, I just flip this over. So I'm thinking that maybe because I have this extra here. Oh, look at that. Will you look at that? Well, that's what it looks like. I think maybe it's because I've got this on the inside. It is quite slippery, actually. You know, it's got nice shine to it here. I have no idea what this fabric is, by the way, but it was in my stash. I found it in a second-hand store, so. But I'm gonna try with these for the rest of them. And I mean, it's the 3rd of February, so I'm a bit in a hurry, and last night I didn't finish putting on the binding. I need from here, these 3 and that. But right now I'm focusing on the eyelets. And I'm gonna do the binding if I have time. And then I'm gonna try and see if I can put some lining in them. But if I don't, well, then then that's what it is. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue stitching eyelet holes.